Welcome back to another cup of jaw time with Realtor Jeet. And here's your cup of jaw. Today we have a special guest. She is near and dear to my heart. We've become really good friends throughout this past year. And I just want to say thank you to her so much for helping me declutter my desk. Because if anybody knows me, especially my husband would say this is a big mess on my desk. I'll know where everything is. No one else knows where anything is. So thank you, Estelle, and I hope I'm saying your last name right, Estelle Poiré, for being such a great friend and coming on Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. And let me unmute you. Oh, there you are. You're unmuted. So Estelle, you have a wonderful podcast. It's in two languages, French and English.
Correct.
And you also teach to not only declutter your space where you're working or living, but also how to declutter your mind and live an abundant life. So I so appreciate you and welcome and thank you for your time here with Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. And I'll give you the screen right now.
Thanks so much, love. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, love. I really appreciate it. I call you love all the time. That's so Canadian, right? Like that's like super Canadian.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Stella's from Canada, so we haven't even met in person yet. We're great friends, and she lives in another country.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, just a few hours north of the border. Yeah, exactly.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. Just a few. Yes, Harjeet for president. I had to say this. I totally had to say this. Harjeet for president.
Oh, thank
I just,
you.
I just, I just think of you like, yeah, she should be a super great president.
Aw, thank you. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So, Estelle, what is it that what's your main goal when you do talk to somebody that you're speaking to, like a client? What is your main goal with them?
I actually love to walk beside them and because everyone is unique, everyone is different, everyone has major potential. Everyone is filled with potential. So it's basically to accompany people to reconnect with their full potential and actually decluttered life, decluttered decision making and decluttered relationship and decluttered stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's really to accompany people to, yeah, to reconnect with this immense infinite potential by, okay, let's just declutter your life, let's go with decluttering yourself emotionally, internally, right? Because everything starts from within. So you declutter yourself internally, and that will affect positively um, the clutter, the stuff that you have in your life. And I think I'm all by myself at the moment. I don't know what's going on. So to um, to declutter ourselves
You're not by yourself.
emotionally.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So, hi everyone, this is Estelle speaking here from Team Jeet.
We are, yes, from Team Jeep.
Yes,
Where's
yes.
the
And yeah, because a lot of people have a lot of stuff, so it's the root cause. Where does it come from? Why do we have so much stuff, right? It's only stuff that
Yes.
I often start with stuff, Why do we have so much? Why do we have so much stuff? Why do we make the wrong decisions? Why do we say yes to life experiences that don't work for us? Why do we surround ourselves with the wrong people? It all starts from within. The frustrations and the sadness that we keep inside of us on a daily basis and that we don't actually really express. So when I'm dealing with somebody, when I'm talking with somebody, with a client, even potential client, it's really to accompany them, to could not coach them, because I don't feel like I'm a coach. I'm more like an accompanying person, and it's to really help them to reconnect with their immense potential, reconnect with feeling happier with the stuff that they have, making the right decisions for them, by themselves and for themselves, um, and yes, surrounding themselves with the right people that fit for them.
That's beautiful. You know, Estelle, I love that you said, why do we have so much stuff? And as you were saying that, it's like a lot of the times, all of us, I'm guilty of this all the time. We have so many things that we're thinking about at the same time. Like it's not one or two or three or four thoughts that's going on in our heads. It's about hundreds of thoughts that are going on. And then we overwhelm ourselves with the yeses. Um, I saw a YouTube, uh, I was on YouTube earlier, and then I saw on the side there was something from Steve Jobs, and he said, the focus is where the no's are.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty powerful. That's straight to the point, right?
Yeah, it's where the no's are. If you want to focus, you have to learn how to say no. Because I think what we end up doing is we try to satisfy every aspect of our life. We end up saying yes, 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 and then we overwhelm ourselves because we've made a commitment that we didn't really mean to make. And
Yes.
I love that you mentioned that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's wow, that's so true. The focus and the nose, yeah. And also we so want to please other people. We want to be liked, we want to be loved, we want to be appreciated, we want to be valued and all that. And quite often, sometimes we'll get more stuff because we want to look like
Mm,
everyone else, or we want to fit in,
yep.
the group.
Hmm.
I've done that many times. I'm sure you too,
Yep.
and probably everyone else
A lot of
around us, right? And then we want to be so loved that we'll say
people.
yes to a life experience that actually doesn't really fit for us. We'll make that decision that completely is wrong for us, but we'll say yes, right? And then also we'll surround ourselves with people that are completely wrong for us.
So, how do you help with those decision making processes? Like, what's the process of decluttering the decisions that we do make?
I often start with not sexy questions such as because it all starts from within. So it's, how are you today? How are you today? Um what happened today, or what happened yesterday, or what happened years ago
Hmm.
that you're not dealing with, and that will reflect in the stuff, the too much stuff that you own. Maybe the debt problem, you're putting yourself in debt, or I don't know, maybe the bigger house that you want. Maybe that bigger house will not even be big enough.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's just a little simple question that can unwind and start realizing, oh my gosh, this is what I've been avoiding, and this is why I've been doing all of these tasks or behaving this way or that way because I'm avoiding that thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's so crazy you say that because I used to be a very busy person. You know, throughout my whole 20s, I had my children young, and I kept myself really busy. 3 jobs, school, always
Wow.
busy. Motherhood, marriage, being a good daughter to my parents, so many things, just so that I can avoid whatever I was avoiding unintentionally. This was happening. because I knew I was avoiding something. I didn't know I was avoiding something until recently. Now I know I was avoiding something, which is it's true. This is it, until we go inside ourselves, and it's just a simple question that helps you get to that level. Because when I was talking to my counselor, she asked me one tiny little simple detailed question, and it literally, there was like a treasure box unlocked where that was buried deep inside.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's it, right? It's what are you avoiding or what are
Yeah.
you doing to reward yourself? And
Mhm.
often, yeah, I'll ask that question, and sometimes it depends. I'll kind of feel the pace or take the pulse or of
Yeah.
the person. It's like, what do you want to talk about today, or
Yeah.
what's your challenge? And sometimes people talk, they just talk, and I'm listening, and sometimes I'll hear things that, okay, there's a little sadness here, little frustration there. Maybe there's even some joy there that, that person is not exactly living the joy, because, why would I allow myself to feel that
Mhm.
joy, right?
That is.
So yeah, something happened maybe a few weeks ago or a few years ago, that sadness, and man, I talk about it, and it's still, it still makes me mad, still crying about it, which is perfectly normal. It's all good, right? And
Of
then, or
course.
something that happened that made you mad, even if that was 20 years ago, and you still talk about that, and it reflects in what you buy, the stuff that you buy,
Mhm.
the quality of the stuff that you buy, the quality of relationship that you have, the
Yes.
quality of life experiences and decision that you have. It's always a matter of quantity and quality. That's extremely important.
So how do you help your, yeah, that's amazing. That's really great. So how do you help people? And you're impacting so many people throughout the world. And most of what you do is online, which is so cool. This is what I love about
Yeah,
the world.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, it's just, I guess nowadays it's 100% online, or
Yep.
just about, right? And I go with one-on-one consultation at the moment. That's mostly what I do, one-on-one consultations.
Mhm.
Um, I do want to bring also one of my goals for 2022. I'm developing that slowly but surely, bringing clutter-free living to companies,
Oh, that's
because
beautiful.
individuals in their personal life, they also bring their emotional issues. They also bring that in the workspace, and that's that it goes together, right? Your personal life and your life at work, they both influence one another. So yeah, I want to focus on also live presentations. Yes, bringing clutter-free living to companies. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, my goal is to do also presentation, for companies, to
That's
help them
beautiful.
basically declutter themselves, you know, internally and externally, to really bring the best in them, both in their personal life and professional life.
That's
And when I do um, one-on-one consultation, it's how could I say? It can be someone that shows me their house, and then I just ask questions, and but it's mostly like verbal discussion and all that. So that's mostly it.
that's so great, Estelle, that you mentioned that when you're looking at somebody's house, because this is something that we, as I'm going to bring real estate in here a little bit, of course, and also if you have any questions or comments, hi Jeff. Jeff says my two favorite people too.
Oh, hi,
Jeff, you're
Jeff.
our favorite people too.
Yay. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
And I love that you mentioned houses and you're looking at people's houses and helping them declutter because this is something that happens when we walk into listing presentations as well. And we have to, you know, as professionals, also bring up this topic if the house is cluttered. And a lot of the times, the sellers are a bit sensitive to, you know, their house being critiqued. And some sellers are like, please tell me what I got to do. I'll do everything you tell me. But some are like, I don't want you to tell me how my house is. Just sell it,
Mhm.
you know? So,
Okay.
how now this will be perfect for sellers or homeowners. Why it's so important to have a decluttered or a clutterless house.
Well, it's a very good question. Actually, I'll give you two answers. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I'll give you two answers. I'm in a Facebook. I'm in a few Facebook group, and I like to read other people's, what
Mhm.
they go through and their feelings and how they see life and clutter and stuff. And when you have a decluttered home, for a lot of people, it feels, oh wow, I'm feeling so. It's a relief. It's it's less of a headache.
Yeah.
It feels happy here. It feels clean. It feels,
Yeah.
oh wow, I can move around, and for other people, this is a comment that I got in a Facebook group that really caught my attention. Somebody said to me, Estelle, your comments about decluttered home and decluttering your stuff and all that, this is super cute, but you gotta understand that there are people that love stuff. There are people, they just for you, what can seem like way too much
Yeah.
for certain people, even if it's just how they are. It's just how they are.
Mhm.
For me, to have a clutter-free home is actually not just it. I mean, it goes beyond just, oh,
Yeah.
it's just I have the right amount of stuff that will make me happy, and I'm not attached to stuff. And that's the thing. I'm guessing when somebody is selling their home,
Mhm.
some people will be like, just tell me what I need to do and I'll
Yeah.
just do it, right? But also a lot of the suffering nowadays in our lives is because we don't deal internally with our clutter. So we're quite attached to stuff. We get attached, and it's difficult for people to get rid of their stuff. They get really
Mhm.
sensitive and very emotional about it, and it's stuff have emotional value, a
The
big emotional
sentimental,
value.
yeah, the sentimental value that they have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's ultimately clutter-free living is to create a living environment that will work for you,
Mm.
something that will make you feel at peace and happy, truly happy, not just because your neighbor is happy that way or
Yeah.
your other neighbor is feeling happy that way. It will be an environment that you will have created all by yourself that will make
Mm.
you happy.
That you feel joy in living in.
Yes, absolutely.
That is great. So here's the challenge.
Yes. Oui, j'écoute. I'm listening.
I like I do I don't like too much stuff but in my husband's eyes I hear an echo in the back. I'm getting a new mic. I don't know if it's my echo. Do you hear my echo again? Yeah.
No, I'm actually all good. I don't hear anything different.
Oh, I hear feedback. Uh, if
Would it
anybody,
be me? Would it be me? Should I move my mic? Would it make a difference like this?
well, when I talk, I hear it. Um, well, yeah, if you can move it a little bit more. Now I don't hear it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So here's the challenge. Oh, I hear myself again. Um, I have a 5-year-old who loves to throw her toys everywhere. And actually, today I got a little bean bag. I ordered it from Amazon. I got a bean bag, but they didn't have the beans in there. So you put all the toys and stuffed animals in there, and they could sit on it, the kids, and then whenever they want to play with their toys, they could take it out, play with it, and put it back in the bag. So that looks like a nice little chair on the side. There was a solution I found to declutter her room and my room, because what she does is she'll bring it in my room, and I have a line of toys all over the place.
How lovely.
When I'm walking, I am either tripping over something or, stubbing my toe on a toy. So, what advice would you give to parents that have children, and you want them to live freely so that they could, explore their likings? I don't want to, not allow her to play with her toys and just always have everything to the side. At the same time, you got to clean up your mess too.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Great challenge. Well, I would, my idea about that would be, I guess the kid is learning, right? And
Yeah.
so the younger, I mean, she's quite young.
You
Your
go
daughter,
ahead.
exactly. And I would take the time, because I guess kids are kind of inspired by
Yeah.
what we say, but what we do. So I guess that I would take the time to practice organizing with her and kind of share the benefits of
Mm,
it, and also get her input on, oh, how do you think that we could organize this better? What do you think about this item that is on my floor? Do you think that maybe this could go in my in the bag, right? The bag for your toys.
yeah,
So I guess I would spend some time, kind of showing her how to do that, and I would do it with her as well, just so that it's kind of oh wow, I'm special, I'm
yeah,
responsible for this task of organizing. And also, I would parents with kids, I would encourage them to participate also, to experience with them and encourage them to participate in other tasks such as, I don't know, dusting or things like that. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with organizing the toys or removing the toys from a certain room, but um, that's another way of giving a responsibility to say, oh, I'm gonna, it's just some sort of a bit of accountability, right?
that's absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I'm to be honest, I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent. It's just I'm thinking about um, how to bring some accountability, right? Oh,
Accountability to the child. Yeah,
exactly.
it,
Yes.
she loves cleaning. That's one thing. When I'm
Yes.
cleaning, can I help you? Sure, you
Yeah.
can. So she'll
Yes.
take the mop and she'll mop, like she'll literally take it out of my hand and she's like, I want it, and she wants to do everything I'm doing. So so if I'm wiping the table, she wants to wipe the table. If I'm mopping, she wants to mop.
Oh, nice,
She wants to
nice.
take the vacuum and she wants to vacuum. I'm like, I think the vacuum's too big for you. She's like, no, it's not. And then when it's heavy, so she's like, yeah, you take the vacuum. I'll do them. She likes doing those things. When it comes to her toys, though, it's like, no, I want my toys all around. And you know what? That's same as my desk. I want my desk the way it is because I know where things are, and she wants her toys the way they are because she knows where they
Yes,
are. Oh,
exactly.
I just had like a light bulb hit my head, Estelle. Thank
Exactly. My pleasure. Yeah, because everything we do has an impact, right? So
you.
if we say something or we do something, that's got an impact. And I guess kids, they really notice all those
Yeah.
things, right? They will want to copy us. So um yeah, and it's good to talk about the benefits of
Yeah.
something, or oh, how are you feeling about
Mm.
doing this task, this specific task on your own? How do you feel about putting your toys in a different place, and just yeah, to talk about the benefits, but also the impact that will have on the rest of the family. And that's
Yeah. Oh, that is so beautiful. And it doesn't, you don't have to be a parent to understand this because you may have nieces and nephews or other relationships that you're having, that you live with. Um, but the question is, how do you feel about this space? I think that's
Mhm.
a major, um, that's a really huge question to ask that will impact how they live in that space. Because it's not only how do you live in that space, now you're sharing that space with other people in the household or other people in, like, you could be living in a condo and uh, the outside of the door. How does your neighbor feel? Oh my gosh, I have my friend. She lives downstairs, and there's neighbors upstairs who are always making noise. It's
Mm,
like, what are you thinking about? How is the other person feeling wherever that space is that you're living in?
yes,
That's
exactly.
so understanding the other person's feelings in the space that you're
Exactly.
living in.
And yeah, the impact of what we say and the impact of our actions. Oh my goodness, this is just, I guess, so important.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you're not only just looking within yourself. Yes, you're looking within yourself, and then that in itself is going to have a ripple effect on the people that are in your world, living around you and around the same space. And that's something great to bring into with companies.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. This the unexpressed joy and sadness and frustration
Mhm.
that I have inside of me because I'm unhappy, I'm unfulfilled. I will necessarily bring that with me at work, and that will affect my performance. That will affect how I treat. I'm not crying right now. It's just I got this thing. I'm not even wearing mascara. Can you imagine? Just got this thing right. And that will affect the way I will treat other people as well. That will affect
Yes.
my relationship. That will affect my work, my performance. That will affect my decisions. That will affect how cluttered my desk will be, how cluttered internally
Yeah.
I will
And
be.
that's so you just reminded me of a book. I think our mentor Bob Berg mentioned this book for us to read. I always forget the name of the book. It's a communications book. Um,
Hmm.
Crucial Conversations.
Okay.
And I think it's in that book where there's two workers, they're co-workers, they're working with each other. One is really messy and the other one is really organized, and their desk is always clear and clean, and the other person's desk was like, a huge mess. And here was a point in action where they were talking about having a crucial conversation where, one scenario, if he had said it this way, it got her upset. So she just made, or him just made a bigger mess. Like the coworker just made a bigger mess just to get back at the other
Hmm.
coworker just for mentioning it. Whereas, if they had an effective, crucial conversation, it could have worked out best for them. So these types of conversations are so important because you're right, where they're the habits that you bring into the workspace or into the service. either your workspace, or if you're an entrepreneur, you're a service, you're in the service industry, or if you're in the product industry, still there needs to be some type of habit created where the efficiency level can then expand to the next person that you're servicing or delivering goods to. Um, so that bringing that in to the workspace, if you're clearing yourself out beforehand, you can come into the workspace as decluttered or clutter free living and working and delivery.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you're a genius.
Yeah, I know. And that's where we'd be like, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, you know. I know.
Just sing it. Oh, that is. So,
Yeah.
can you explain to us a little bit about? I love. I've listened to your podcast before.
Thank you.
You have two. You have two in two different. I mean, one podcast in two languages.
Correct.
Okay, let's go over that a little bit so we can let our audience know, and be sure to follow Estelle.
You
What
bet.
is the name of your podcast?
So the one in English is clutter free and happy. The clutter free and happy podcast, which can be found on my website, which is intentionalselfconsulting.com. Clutter free and happy podcast. That's exactly it. And I have one in French, which is called a balado podcast, balado. And that's just the translation of clutter free and happy podcast. Um, so, so yeah, and they're not, how could I say, if I do an episode on my own, like episode number 6, for instance, which is called What's the Rush? Mais qu'est-ce qui presse in French. So if I do an episode on my own, I will do the same episode in French and in English. If I'm with somebody, it will be different in French or English. And yeah, it's just something that I thought, oh, that could be a good that could be an additional thing that I could offer to people if they like to listen to podcast.
That's such a great value. I did post it in the comments below, so you could click on intentionalselfconsulting.com, and then the podcast is there. There are two different podcasts. One is in English, one is in French.
Yes.
So even if you're learning French, that's such a good way to listen to it in English and then go ahead and listen to it in French. And now,
Exactly. And please notice that. I mean, when I do an episode on my own, I usually have a script. So while I'm with my phone, on GarageBand, I just do the episode and I have a script that I'm looking at. I do swear, languages.
it's
So so I do swear, um, use the F bomb, definitely. Not every sentence, but at least once per episode. At least once per episode. And yeah, the French, is a little Quebecois French. So I do my best to speak well so that maybe other people around the world will understand me. So yeah, that will be interesting. I haven't had any comments yet, but that's kind of fun.
That'd be awesome. It's in the comments. So, do you want to let us know in the audience and Team Jeet viewers
Yes.
why French and where are you from? Because it's so interesting.
Yes. So I live in Quebec City, Canada. So our first language is French, and our French is a little different from, let's say, people in France or Switzerland or Belgium. But it's good, we have these words that we make up that just don't make no sense. But that's okay. I guess we understand each other. Sometimes words are not even words; they're sounds, and
think
I
every
guess
language has that.
absolutely we understand each other, you know.
That's awesome. Estelle's from Quebec, Canada.
Correct.
Um, and yeah, first language is French. And I remember when we first spoke with each other one on one, he was telling me how it's such a small town where you live in, so everybody knows everyone.
Correct. Yeah, just about.
And English isn't most mainly spoken in that town.
So in I guess in Quebec City, if you want to work in tourism or in certain industry, you know, technologies and all that, or in the service industry, I mean, depends, right? I guess English is fairly necessary.
Mhm.
Um, in other industries, I mean, so some people don't even speak English, and I guess they are fine with that. They're okay with that. Um, I guess that is the main international language, so it's so important, so necessary. Um, so I could not speak with you today, right? I guess I if I didn't speak the language, so
You didn't
I'm
speak.
glad. I'm really glad, you know, to be able to speak it. So.
That's so fascinating. I love learning about different places. So I'm thinking now, like, if I go to Quebec, I mean, how am I gonna like communicate with people there?
I would say, I mean, if you're like in the old city, you're visiting in the old
Yeah.
city, most people will speak English. To be hired to work in tourism in Quebec City, it's totally necessary. Otherwise, it's just not possible. We have a lot of American tourists, and we love it. And you know, we it's important for us to speak their language. So
Well, I know if whenever I do come down, I'm gonna call you.
you better, you better. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like so
I know
pissed.
she's gonna beat me up. She's like, Archie, what?
I'm gonna go live on Instagram. I can't believe this could. I'm gonna trash you in the
Well, I'm definitely calling you.
exactly. Don't buy a
We
home from her. You know.
we gotta. It's me, you, and Brendan. Well, we'll definitely get together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And Dunya, she's up there
Yeah.
too. So, so we have a whole
Absolutely.
friends. It's so amazing.
Yes.
And then you know, this is all in not just this is in Canada and all over the United States and different parts of the world, which is really great. And
Absolutely.
I'm just so happy that I was able to, you know, well, you were able to give your time and explain to us what it means and why it's so important to live, you know, not just externally, definitely internally, to declutter that the mess that's I'm going to call it a mess, the mess that's within our thoughts and with externally outside, that how we create it, because that's something that, you know, I've learned to work on, because I was bad. I mean, now I'm pretty good. But I had piles of folders and papers, and this is in, you know, this is a smaller office. It's one desk, so I was confined to this one desk where I had to do this. Where at my office, I have a bigger desk, so it gives me more space to make more more of a mess. So everything's like everywhere. Like right now, I have some papers on my bed.
Shame on you. Seriously. I would never say that in a consultation, by the way. Shame on you. I mean,
Yeah, but you know, it's a good practice to have and build within your habits, because it is everything is right there, and then you know where things are, and it's easily accessible because now you've like categorized everything, and I just love that. And it's just it was an honor to have you here teach us this and how to do it. So do you have a tip, one tip that you would give uh, the viewers of a simple little trick that you would do to organize something as simple as a desk.
You bet. So in a pool of choices,
Mhm.
decisions, will be all yours because you're different,
Yep.
you're unique, and your clutter-free life will start from within, and
Mhm.
it will impact your life externally. So that's something to remember. So when you have like a desk, let's say for example a cluttered desk, I would just basically remove everything, absolutely everything from the desk. I would just clean it, look at the space that you have, and find ways to. I'll give you an example. I've got something here. So I'll give you just an example. That's you just look at all the space that you have, and
Mhm.
instead of putting a whole bunch of stuff everywhere, um, you put things together in a same place kind of thing, like in a basket, for example. You got that here.
Yeah, I
This,
see.
this thing is heavy, right?
Mhm.
So all this, basically, I have a lot of pen, right? It's just like makes me a little upset. This is the clutter. This is my clutter. Um, so it's to put things together so that they are kind
Mhm.
of contained. That's very important. They're contained in a basket, for example,
Yeah.
and that's a way to really remove a whole bunch of
Mhm.
useless clutter. That's really a very very effective way, and that can be for your office. That can be for your clothes. You contain things. You put things in containers and baskets so that they are easy access and they're not all over the place. So that would be a tip.
That's a great tip.
That would be a just it's a small tip, but it's very powerful. That way you don't have stuff hanging around all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. So pens all over. I have my pens in my little folder thing. So you'll be
Yes.
proud of me. I just picked it up from, but I have my stuff over here. So it's still a bit messy, but
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's perfect. That's wonderful. How do you like that? Is that something that makes you feel, kind of a bit more at peace,
it,
less anxious?
yep, it does. So what I do is what my important folders for the week I put in there. So when I'm
Mm-hmm.
done with it, then I put that folder away and then I put my new folders in. So
Mm-hmm.
it's there. But I have my pens and like my index cards and calendars out here as well.
Yes.
But it's there and it's contained and over there in the corner where I don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
and then
Absolutely.
and it's like right now we're rebuilding our kitchen and I that's one important folder to have it readily accessible because
Yeah.
that's why it's there. I need something readily accessible, so I pull it out. And so whenever we need something or if we need the blueprint, I just pull it out. Here you go, give it back to me, put it right back in.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
helps much, like just that little bit of security, knowing exactly where it is. I don't have to worry about it when I need it. And
Absolutely.
so I love that tip for containment of your stuff, containing your stuff
Mhm.
in one spot.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Estelle, for that.
My pleasure. My true pleasure.
That's amazing. And so I love to close with my special guests closing because you guys are just so awesome and always have something of value to give to everyone. So how would you what is one thing you would tell the audience or advice and we'll close at that.
You bet. So whether you're going to be buying a new home, or you're going to be selling your home, ultimately, the space that you are leaving behind, or the space that you will be creating in the future, yay! um, it will be very personal to you. Will be very So how do you want to leave if you're selling your home? How do you want to leave the space for the people who will be buying your home and will make it their own? So how do you want to leave that space? And if you're buying a home, how do you want to create that space? What kind of living environment do you want to live in? So I think that these are two questions that your audience might want to ask
That
themselves.
is beautiful. That's so powerful and some really great questions to ask yourself as a buyer or yourself as a seller. And if you're a real estate agent out there listening to this, that's a great question to ask your seller or your buyer. So thank you, Estelle.
My
We
pleasure.
greatly appreciate you for that.